The idea is that women can get together with service providers to give their feedback about maternity services.
We have primarily been looking at maternity services in North Manchester, so women who've had experience of maternity care under the umbrella of North.
We gather feedback by going out into the community. It's mothers talking to mothers. We've held listening events at local cafes. We also went to the Antenatal clinic and spoke to people in the waiting room there waiting for antenatal appointments and scans. We've conducted an online survey and gathered feedback that way.
We have been out speaking to women from a wide range of communities.
We went to a mosque to speak to women there about their experiences. We've also spoken to a Jewish mothers group.
We were unfortunate in that we lost a son at 23 weeks. That was obviously a very traumatic experience, and I felt in the very early stages of this pregnancy that I was having to come to appointment after appointment after appointment and relay what had happened. And I had been told subsequently to getting pregnant again that there would be a sticker put onto my notes that would flag up what had happened previously, and that didn't happen. And the community midwife who I saw in Middleton didn't seem to be aware that there should be a sticker on my notes, and I think that would have made such a big difference to me to not have to relay what had happened repeatedly.
With my first child, I felt a bit railroaded into certain decisions and a bit patronised at times.
The maternity unit was quite short-staffed and I had SPD, so I was on crutches, and so the first night that we were here I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even lift the baby up, I couldn't get myself out of bed, couldn't get him out of the little crib thing, and there were like 2 midwives and about 10 people.
It's about communication. For example, I'm going back to when we lost Rory, so I apologise, but when we lost Rory, I remember very clearly there was a doctor's round, and they came round and the first question they asked me was, "How are you?" And bear in mind I'd lost my son within a space of a few hours, and you just think what a ridiculous question to ask someone who has just lost their child.
If there's been negative feedback, I've gone to see the patient while she's been in the ward, and I've been able to speak to any member of staff that it might entail, or go through her labour if she hasn't been quite happy with what happened, or if it hasn't gone as expected for her. And it seems to be working really well, that they feel that they know why things were done at the time that they were done.
It's incredibly important to listen to women and their experiences so that the hospitals can make sure that mistakes that have happened before don't happen again.
Like anything that you do, you need to have some feedback, negative or positive, so that you can progress.
How women are cared for and looked after during pregnancy and birth and afterwards is really important, because women's experience during that time really has a long-term impact going forward into the future.
It's really, really important to know the experiences of the people that's actually going through it, because how would things change otherwise?
We want them to shape the future of maternity services.
Without people explaining where things are not working for them or what did work for them, services don't know how they can improve and make changes.
It's just a real privilege to be with someone who's having a baby, and because that's one of the most important days of their life, and being part of that.
Being a relatively new mother myself, I know that birth is important, I know that maternity care is important, and there's lots and lots of great practice out there, but there's also areas that could be improved, and that's why it's really important that we listen to those voices and that they are heard.
It was just fabulous really from start to finish. Staff were friendly, helpful, although busy, and yeah, we really felt looked after and cared for. I know people are very quick to give feedback when it's negative, but for us it wasn't negative, so I guess it's just a way of us saying thank you.
My name's Liz and I had a home birth which was facilitated by the community team from North Manchester General Hospital, and it was a very positive experience. I was supported by a brilliant midwife, Catherine Francis, and I was supported by her throughout my care from when I had my first appointment right to the way to when my son was born. She delivered him at home here, and the aftercare as well. And Catherine empowered me and made me feel confident to make decisions about how I wanted to birth my baby, where I wanted him to be born, what I wanted that experience to be. I feel that the experience that I had should be the norm. Continuity of care, midwife-led service, not being seen by hundreds of different people, and that was why my experience was brilliant. And I would hope that that kind of continuity of care should be the standard for every woman going through maternity services.
I had a really good experience, maternity experience in North General Hospital. My English is not perfect enough, but they try to explain everything carefully to me, and try to calm down for me because I was a bit nervous because I vomit seriously, but they calm down for me and then look after for me carefully. Yeah.
For me, a positive experience at the hospital was the midwives, because it was exceptional and honest and helpful towards my baby.
The midwives will get thank you cards, they'll get maybe chocolates for the ward, anything like that. It goes a long way to make us feel appreciated.
I would like to see a Maternity Voices partnership started in North Manchester, because I feel that it's a great opportunity for our service users, our women and our families, to tell us what their experience has been like, give us an opportunity to respond to any negative feedback and give the positive feedback back to staff.
The staff have been really welcoming at North Manchester, and they've helped us run a listening event in the antenatal clinic and do a walk the patch, so we've really appreciated that, and that's been good. And also to all the women that have contributed their voices and been part of this research, we'd like to say a really big thank you to as well.
It's fundamentally important that women's voices through schemes like this, like Maternity Voices, are heard and central to the design, development, delivery of maternity services.